Liver King actually hates his body. If you loved your body, why would you resort to doing those things? Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm going to show compelling evidence to show that Liver King actually hates his body. That's right, he doesn't like the way he looks. Despite the fact that he's shredded, has a ton of muscle, he simply doesn't like the reflection he sees in the mirror. In other words, he suffers from body dysmorphia. And so I'm going to show some clips. He was interviewed by Kenny Ko, and I was surprised to see what he said. This is not the things that someone would say if they actually like the way they look. And so for the most part, most people believe that the Liver King is not natural, that he has either ab implants or abdominal etching, and that he lies about this because he doesn't want people to know. After all, it gives people something to talk about and creates more controversy, more views for Liver King, and so that allows them to sell more products.
And I could actually almost sleep. You're almost programmed with your abs to be a little bit flexed.
And so the Liver King walks around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even in his sleep, he says it's programmed to be flexed. Why? Because he doesn't want anyone to think that he's not always shredded. Think of it. He constantly walking around with his abs being flexed. He never breathes in, breathes out. You don't see his abdominals relax. And so, of course, people speculate. Are those ab implants? And considering that you never see his abdominals relax, that they always look flexed, is it that he can't stand the thought of people seeing him without abs? And so did he in fact resort to getting ab implants or abdominal etching in order to get that appearance? My personal opinion, of which I've stated in a previous video, is that the Liver King has abdominal etching. They suck out the fat in between the abs so that you can constantly see it. It's visible.
They're the same unflexed, then we have a little bit of a situation.
And if I were gonna go get liposuction, I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't be on the abs.
Where would you get it?
On the goddamn love handles that hang over the shorts.
And so when Kenny asked, do you have ab implants or abdominal etching, he diverts the question, starts talking about his hair.
They're the same unflexed, then we have a little bit of a situation.
This is
okay.
No, let me just tell you this. I have, this hair has never seen shampoo.
And rather than answering the question, he says, why would I get liposuction on my abs? If I were to get liposuction, it would be on my love handles that hang over my shorts. Really? Does this guy actually think he has love handles? Reminds me of that Jeff Cavalier video where he thought he had love handles.
Even me at a low body fat level, and anybody out there that's watching can still have a good amount of fat right here.
When you have single-digit body fat, you don't have love handles. They don't even exist. Hang over the shorts. What is he talking about? And so the reason he wouldn't get liposuction for his abdominals is because he already has it. Think of it. He diverts the question. Rather than saying yes or no, he says, oh, I would get it somewhere else. He diverts his tension away. He tells jokes, brings humor, and is very sarcastic. Oh, I put steroids in the water. It's in the water. It reminds me of Michael Hurt.
So is the legend, the Titan, still natty?
Well, no. I've never been natty, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
Very sarcastic, answers the question with another, and diverts the attention to something else.
This hair has never seen shampoo. I'm my primal, wild, free version of myself.
And so why is he in fact wearing a hat? Does he not like his hair? Why is he covering up? If he liked his hair, if he's going primal, why is he covering his hair? After all, he's not wearing a shirt. He's wearing shorts probably because he has to. Can't go around walking nude in public. But why is he covering the hair? Think of it. Thousands of years ago, did people walk around with a backwards hat on? And so he's been flexing his abs for so long that he can almost sleep with his abs tense.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Liver King.
Somebody showed me a video when you said, hey, I'll go to your house, and if any of this stuff is true, I'll retract all my other videos.
And so think of it. Upon first meeting Kenny, for the first time, he says, oh, I remember you made that video talking about me, and you said you'd come to my house and discover if I actually do all the things I'm saying, that you'd retract my videos. He says, why would I want you to do that? Why would I want you to not talk about the Liver King? I want you talking about the Liver King. I don't care if it's good or bad. Just keep talking about me. And so the Liver King, he's the master of getting people to talk about him. He likes to be controversial. He says things on purpose to upset other people, and he knows that that gets him more views. And with more views comes more attention, he can sell more products.
Yeah, I always say it all the time. It's not even a joke. Their friends are over and we get water, right? And I'm like, hey, you guys know what's in the water? Steroids, of course.
And so imagine, When his kids' friends come over to visit, to hang out, he says to them, you know what's in the water? It's steroids. What kind of parent jokes like that with his kids' friends? Hi, kids' friends. There's steroids in this water. Really? Is that really an acceptable joke that you do with young children? And he says, this is not a joke. He does this in real life. Why would he do that? And he says it's not a metaphor. How is this useful in everyday life? Hi, everyone. Drink this water. It's full of steroids. It's a metaphor for life. Really? What? What kind of metaphor? What message does this send?
Natty or not?
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? I thought we were way past that.
And so Kenny finally says, last question, are you natty or not? Liver King, are you kidding? Really? You're going to ask me that? I thought we were beyond this. It's Kenny KO. He literally walks up to people and asks if they're natural or not for a living. That's his thing. How is he not going to ask the Liver King if he's natty or not? And so how on earth is he surprised by this question?
There's still a vocal minority of 2% that still ask that question, right? So I'm like, this is sort of irrelevant.
And so he says, well, there's only 2% of the world that believes that I'm not natural at this point, but I'm going to answer it. And so, yeah, I'm natural. Really? Is he really natural? And so one question you have to ask, if you're in your mid-40s and you're blasting test and Tren to look a certain way while maintaining 6-7% body fat, flexing your abs all the time, is it because you don't in fact like your body? If you loved your body, why would you resort to doing those things? You wouldn't. You'd care about your health.
But in 2018, I went to Singapore. I was the first human to ever have this procedure done. Right? I had gene editing done.
And so then, of course, he changes it into, hey, in 2018, I had my myostatin gene altered, and that's why I have all this muscle. Always trying to turn a question into a joke. And so what I notice is the Liver King doesn't want to lie. It's not comfortable. It's a lot easier to divert away from the question and try to change it to something else. Somebody asks you a question, you ask a question right back. You don't simply answer it. Mike O'Hearn often does this. Kenny KO interviewed him in the past, and he kept poking fun at Kenny, saying, well, my wife has better abs than you. She's stronger than you. She's better than you.
Are you actually on like TRT though?
What would be the point though? Watch this, watch this. Let me see your abs.
Hit a flex for the people.
Let me see your abs.
He just asking you, hey, what about HRT? Are you taking that? And then he diverts the question and asks Kenny something. Why aren't you as strong and as big as me or my wife?
You have ab surgery. Ab implants.
We're on a podcast last night, and some guy said, somebody really intelligent said something about ab etching.
And so when he asks, do you have ab implants? He doesn't say no. When he asks about ab etching, he doesn't deny that as well. And so Kenny asks, do you have ab implants? Instead of saying, no, I don't, he diverts it away and says, I was on a podcast and we were talking about some intelligent guy that was suggesting that I had abdominal etching and not ab implants. I literally made that video. Perhaps he's talking about Coach Greg. But he doesn't say no. Notice he did not say no. Why didn't he just say, no, of course not? That's ridiculous. Why would I do that? I'm already shredded. Why would I need abdominal etching? But he doesn't do that. He says if I were to get liposuction, I would get it done on my love handles that are hanging over my shorts. And so to me, somebody that didn't have abdominal etching, they would have said, look, I don't have it done. I can see why people would accuse me. I mean, look at my abs. They are stupendous. They are superb. They're better than 99.9% of people. So of course they're going to wonder. And as far as being natty or not, I'm natural, but I understand the accusations. After all, how many people can look like me? And so of course they're accusing me. I take it as a compliment, but I don't see him saying that. And I do believe if he was actually natural and did not have abdominal etching, he would just say no, he would take it as a compliment, and he would move on. And so his mannerisms, the way he diverts attention away from the questions, the way he questions back and tells jokes, tries to use humor, to me, that's a sign of a guy that's uncomfortable in answering the questions in truth and is not wanting to lie. But of course, in the end, he has to. He has to keep going with the lie. If he actually admitted that he was not natural, people would be mad saying, well, that's why you look like this. It's not because you eat so much liver. The Liver King is actually the Tren King. And so now you've watched the video. What do you think? Do you think the Liver King loves his body? Does he look comfortable? He's flexing his abs all the time, probably had abdominal etching. And as far as his natty or not status, do you really think that only 2% of people think he's not natty? I certainly believe it's closer to 98% that think he's not natty, and perhaps 2% of the morons of the world, well, they think he's natural. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Ending it here. Looking for HTLT subs? Click the link in the description. Use code Greg, 10% off, including the Seco bars, which are back in stock. Training books, the Circle Diet book, the friggin' cookbook, hard copy. Get that. Click the link in the description. Watch the Tube Loops. Subscribe. Click the bell button. Comment for the algorithm. And until next time, I am out.